Hello everyone, myself Dr. Manish Kumar, physiotherapist and founder of Physiomax Physiotherapy Center, located at Sector 86, Greater Faridabad, near Ford Hospital, having master in rehabilitation and then PhD in physiotherapy domain. In this video, I am going to talk about very important concept regarding the contribution of sternoclavicular joint and acromioclavicular joint in the upward rotation of the scapula. 50% of each SC and AC joint contributes in the scapular upward rotation, which is happening at the level of scapulothoracic joint when we are moving the glenohumeral joint in elevation. In addition to this, there is also one important associated movement which is happening at the level of glenohumeral joint itself, that is lateral rotation, when we are talking about the abduction movement at the glenohumeral joint. At the end range of glenohumeral joint abduction, lateral rotation is happening, which is important in order to prevent the impingement of humerus with the superior rim of the glenoid fossa. So the clinical relevance we can make from all these things is that we need to add three important aspects whenever we are treating the patient of shoulder pathology regarding shoulder stiffness or pain. Three important aspects we need to add in our in addition to the conservative treatment we are doing. First, restoration of the lateral rotation at the glenohumeral joint in order to achieve the maximum exertion of the glenohumeral abduction movement. Without this, we cannot achieve the maximum range of abduction movement at the glenohumeral joint. Second, we need to restore the mobility at the SC joint and AC joint in order to have the complete scapular upward rotation, which in turn very important to achieve the maximum exertion of the glenohumeral joint movement. Last but not the least, from the last video where we have discussed about the kinetics of scapulohumeral rhythm, the conclusion we can make from that video is that the strengthening of trapezius group of muscle and serratus anterior is also very important in order to have the smooth scapulohumeral rhythm as they form the force couple in order to rotate the scapula in the upward rotation. So with this we are going to talk about the contribution of these two joints in the upward rotation of the scapula. The first joint we are going to talk is the sternoclavicular joint contribution in the upward rotation of the scapula. In order to understand the contribution of the sternoclavicular joint in the upward rotation of the scapula, we need to visualize two important surface landmarks. One is the inferior angle of the scapula and the other is the lateral end of the clavicle. So when the scapula begins to rotate in the upward direction, it changes its position from P1 to P2, achieving the first 40 degree of upward rotation. And this 40 degree of upward rotation is accommodated by the elevation of the clavicle around 40 degree, which is occurring at the level of the sternoclavicular joint, which is a saddle type of joint exhibiting three planar movements. The inferior angle of the scapula is not stopping at the 40 degree of upward rotation, but it is rotating further 20 degree in the upward direction. But you can see in the diagram the lateral end of the clavicle is not elevating beyond 40 degree. That means the last 20 degree, the extra 20 degree, the scapula which is rotating in the upward direction is being accommodated by some movement at the acromioclavicular joint. So now the contribution of the acromioclavicular joint is very important. Acromioclavicular joint has one important ligament which is called as the coracoclavicular ligament. Coracoclavicular ligament has two bands, conoid ligament and trapezoid ligament. As soon as the scapula reaches its 40 degree of upward rotation, the conoid part of the coracoclavicular ligament becomes tight, and tightening of the conoid ligament causes the clavicle to rotate in the upward direction. As we know, the ligament is meant for providing the stability around the joint, but this is one of the ligament which is actually causing the movement by getting tightened up. So in addition to the role of the conoid ligament in producing the movement, okay, at the level of the AC joint, there is also associated external rotation of the scapula and posterior tilting of the scapula with respect to the acromioclavicular joint, which is happening at the level of the acromioclavicular joint, in order to prevent the impingement of the greater tubercle with the acromion process. So these are the important movements, associated movement, which is occurring at the level of the SC joint and AC joint. First is the clavicular elevation at the level of the SC joint, and second, the upward rotation of the clavicle along with the external rotation of the scapula and posterior tilting of the scapula with respect to the acromioclavicular joint, which is being contributed by AC joint in order to achieve the upward rotation of the scapula around 60° at the level of scapulothoracic joint. Now, if we are talking about the axis of the upward rotation of the scapula, that axis passes vertically through the scapular plane in the anterior and medial direction. So when this axis is near the root of the scapular spine, the scapulothoracic motion is primarily a function of sternoclavicular joint motion. When the axis of scapular upward rotation is at the level of the AC joint motion predominant. And when the axis of scapular upward rotation is in an intermediate position, both the SC and AC joint are contributing to ST motion. So as the scapula is rotating in the upward direction, the axis is being the position of the axis for the upward rotation is changing. So when it is closer to the the SC joint motion predominates. When it is midway between the SC and AC joint, both the joint SC joint and AC joint is contributing in the upward rotation of the scapula. And when the axis is near to the AC joint motion predominates in achieving the upward rotation of the scapula. So 50% of contribution from AC and SC joint is required to produce a total of 60 degrees of scapular upward rotation. So conclusively, we can see at the level of the sternoclavicular joint, elevation is very important movement which is occurring during the upward rotation of the scapula along with the posterior rotation at the SC joint. At the level of the AC joint, there is external rotation of the scapula, posterior tilting of the scapula and the upward rotation of the clavicle at the level of the AC joint, which is very important for achieving the 60 degree of scapulothoracic joint upward rotation. So that means whenever we are dealing with the patient having shoulder complex issues, we need to restore the mobility at the level of SC joint also and AC joint in order to achieve the maximum range at the glenohumeral joint. I hope this video is useful to everyone, uh, both for the clinicians and academicians. Okay, so please share my channel and like this video so that I can uh, make more videos which will be helpful to the physiotherapist and the academician also. Uh, Please be safe and take care. Thank you.